What's going on, everybody? This is the Power 5 for Wednesday, August 2nd. This is Wager Talk TV. I am Bryan Power, your host, and every morning I bring you the 5 things you need to know from where the market is moving, who to sell high on, who to buy low on, stat of the day, and we close things out each and every day with the free pick, our power play of the day. Stay tuned for that. But first, a reminder, please smash that like button. Give this show a thumbs up. Comment away. Let me know if you agree with the power play of the day or anything else that you may hear on this show. Feel free to disagree with anything you may hear. Feel free to let me know if my volume still needs to be turned up, which I know has been an issue, a kind of a comedy of errors. They pay me to talk, everybody, but I think I have figured out what the issue was there, and hopefully you can all hear me loud and clear. Regardless, let's keep this thing interactive. I've loved all the comments I've seen over the last couple days on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you already haven't done so, please go ahead and subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Tons of great sports betting content each and every day. I will be on Wager Talk today, co-hosting with the Prez at noon Eastern. Okay, enough about my microphone volume, enough about thumbs ups. Let's get to how the market is moving. Let's start the Power 5 that way, like we always do. Looking at the wagertalk.com odds screen, I see the total for Rays Yankees has dipped from 8 to 7.5. Last night's on the under on this matchup, which was 8.5. That was a bet I know some of you had. I saw that in the comments. I know a lot of sharp people liked the under on 8.5. Of course, the Rays win 5-2. A little bit of a sweat late when the Yankees put 2 runs on the board in the bottom of the 9th. Of course, if you listened to the Power 5 yesterday, you know that there was some early line movement towards the Rays. They were in the market mover section, and they come through with a big win over the Yankees. For tonight, the Rays, they're going with Shane McClanahan. And the Yankees, they've got Garrett Cole. So we've got a real pitcher's duel, at least on paper here. Cole somehow does not have a win over his last 3 starts, despite a 1.40 ERA and .62 whip. He's tossed 5 consecutive quality starts overall. McClanahan, I am a bit worried about, as he has just 1 quality start, his last 5 trips to the mound, and a 6 ERA over his last 3. The Yankees, despite those hitting woes, even with Judge back, are slight favorites. Okay, sticking in the AL East and sticking with our market movers, why do odds makers insist on the Orioles constantly being in the underdog role? Can you believe the O's have been a dog in more games this year, 57, than they've been favored, 50? That's crazy to me. This is a team with the best record in the American League, and tonight the O's look to make it 3 in a row over the Blue Jays. But I want to focus on the total, because that's where the market is moving here. The number has dipped from 9 to 8.5. Grayson Rodriguez on the mound for Baltimore tonight. I bet the under in his last start, and, well, can't be any easier because it was a 1-0 final against the aforementioned Yankees. The Jays have Kikuchi going. He's got a 1.12 ERA his last 3 starts. The whip is actually a little bit higher than the ERA, which you don't normally see, so maybe a red flag there. But note, Blue Jays home games this season, pretty low scoring, averaging only 7.9 runs. That's among the fewest for any team at home in all of Major League Baseball, and comes despite the alterations made, to the stadium, which were supposedly designed to increase offensive production. We just haven't seen that. So once again, the market has moved towards the under on our 2 AL East matchups for Wednesday. Those being Rays, Yankees, and Orioles, Blue Jays. Okay, let's move to sell high, and I don't care that he's facing the Oakland A's. Dodgers starter Tony Gonsolin should not be a $3 favorite on the money line against a professional baseball team. He just shouldn't. I mean, it's north of minus 300 here over his last 7 starts. Gonsolin has an ERA of 7.25 and a whip of .139. He's allowed 4 or more earned runs in 6 of those 7 starts, only made it past the 5th once. I say either throw some pizza money on the A's, a money line, or plus 1.5 is plus 130, if you can believe it, or just stay away if you're a little gun shy about betting the Oakland A's. But there is no way Tony Gonsolin deserves to be in this price range on Wednesday. Buy low, of course, that's the reverse of sell high. Remember what I said yesterday about the Angels with runners in scoring position? Well, they're now 2 for 43 in the last 5 games in that situation. Can you believe that? 2 for 43. Yesterday, I also mentioned it was unlikely they would turn that around because they were facing Spencer Strider, a strikeout machine, one of the great strikeout pitchers of this or any generation, quite frankly. But in one of today's early starts, yes, this is a really early start, 12:20 Eastern, the Angels get a far more favorable starting pitching matchup. It's Lucas Giolito going against Yanni Chirinos. Both pitchers making their second starts for new teams. Recent acquisitions here for the Angels and Braves, respectively. And Chirinos, he is not striking a lot of guys out this season. His exit velocity is a concern. So perhaps this is the day the Angels start to get some timely hitting. I think Giolito's going to rack up some strikeouts himself in this one. Angels could be a buy low candidate today against the Braves. The money line not nearly as large as it was the last 2 days. But again, the pitching matchup more favorable for the road team. Stat of the day. This isn't any actual info for today, but I thought it was interesting. Last night, the Reds' Ben Lively, I tweeted that he was in the mud as the game was going along, and boy was he, ends up charged with 13 runs allowed. That is the most surrendered by any pitcher in a game in over a decade. You got to go back to 2011 to find the last time somebody gave up more runs than that. And it was the first time any Red starter gave up that many runs since 1915 per Elias. So Ben Lively, who had been good over his last 6 starts, we mentioned that on yesterday's show, a 3.23 ERA his previous 6. Boy, did things take a dire turn yesterday for the Reds. And I'm going to have more on the NL Central race in today's Power Play of the day. Stay tuned for that. But first, we've got to talk about some special offers we're running here at wagertalk.com. As you know, I recently celebrated my 1-year anniversary, and for the second year here at the site, I've got a great deal going on. I ranked number 1 in MLB from last year's playoffs through the All-Star break. Number 1 in college football last season with plays rated 4% or higher, hitting 60%. So for the next 365 days, you can take 50% off a 1-year all-access when you use the code POWER1000. That is POWER1000. Many of you have already taken advantage, and I can see why. For the cost of just $2.73 per day, you get every winner I release for the next 365 days. Head on over to wt.buzz/BP to take advantage now. There's also another special offer I've got where if you buy the remainder of my MLB season, you can get college football free through September. That's over a $300 savings. We've recently discounted that package even more. It is only available through Sunday. No coupon needed on that one. Okay, since there's so many day games on Wednesday, let's get a little creative with the Power Play of the day, shall we? As many of you know, early in the summer, I bet the Cincinnati Reds 19-1 to win the NL Central. They proceeded to go on a huge win streak. They're now in first place and plus 140 to win the division. So, you know, obviously I've got a great value. I'm really happy with that ticket that I'm holding. But I'm going to hedge a little bit here. And I have bet the Chicago Cubs, plus 550 to win the division. As you know, or those of you who have read my write-ups, no matter the sport, I'm a big believer in scoring differential being a strong indicator of future outcomes, much more so than a team's actual win-loss record. Well, you look at the run differential column in the NL Central, and clearly the Cubs are the best team in that regard. They are plus 67 in run differential for the season. The other 4 teams all in the negative in run differential. So if run differential means anything here, like we think it does, the Cubs are going to erase that 4-game deficit, win this division. I like the idea of holding 2+ money tickets. Obviously, we've got the big one with the Reds at 19-1, but Cubs plus 550, given the way they've played lately, winning 9 of their last 11, isn't too shabby either. Essentially, I'm just betting against Milwaukee to not win this division. I've got the 2 other contenders at plus money. Well, again, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, they're out of it, so don't worry about them. But, to get plus money on the other 2 contenders, I like it. Cubs plus 550 to win the NL Central is today's Power Play of the day. If you bet the Reds like me, even not at 19-1, but at somewhat lofty odds, I think it's a good way to hedge. And that is it for the Power 5 for Wednesday, August 2nd. Let's all go and cash some tickets.